creative solutions that come from a completely fresh perspective, a completely blank sheet of paper that ultimately achieve recognition by all. There is no better practitioner of this approach than my guest today. I'm delighted to welcome Sir John Hegarty, founder and global creative chairman of BBH, to the Blank Sheet Project. Sir John, welcome to your own agency. May I call you John for old time's sake?
Please do.
What do you think, because I know you still are a practitioner, what do you think when you're confronted with a blank sheet of paper?
Well, I think, you know, I love the excitement of a blank sheet of paper. That's always a thing that's driven me. But what I actually think, when I'm confronted with that brief and that possibility of doing something, I think this could make me and the client famous. In our industry, which is probably the most creative industry you can be in, you have to come in every day and have a new idea. And that old thing about inspiration's everywhere, look at it, you know, pick it up, read books, go to shows, read magazines, read stuff that you're not supposed to read. Read business magazines, be interesting, you'll get a point of view. Go to galleries, you know, be aware. And if you do that, there's a chance you'll stay connected. I mean, one thing that I'm going to say this, and you know, I think it really disappoints me when I go around and look at the creative, and they're all watching YouTube. And I think, why are you watching YouTube? What's the point?
It's been done.
It's been done. If you're a great creative person, you're a cipher. You take in things and you represent them. That's what great creative people do. The people who succeed in advertising are entrepreneurial. It doesn't matter where they are and what department they're in, they're entrepreneurial. If they're not that, then they shouldn't be in our industry. Even our finance people are interesting to talk to. They're quite entrepreneurial. They kind of think differently. I always think what it was like when, you know, and I wasn't around then, I can assure you, but in 1955 when commercial television started, it was fundamental. The impact that had on our industry. So if you stand back, you know, our industry is constantly evolving, constantly changing. But I think storytelling is fundamental to the way we receive and take in information. And that remains the same. Our opportunity today is to get it out in 1,000 different ways. We came up with this idea of all the sheep going in one direction and a black sheep going in the opposite direction, with black Levi's, when the world zigs, you zag. And of course, what was brilliant, as you will remember, is they looked at it and went, but where are the picture of the jeans? And we said, no, everybody knows what a pair of jeans looks like. What we're trying to establish is that they're black. You know, people look about how do you create your own culture? How do you, and people try and invent it. But actually, sometimes it just happens to you from the work you do, the way you are, the way you're being. And of course, we then adopted the black sheep as our logo because we felt ourselves to be a company that when the world zigs, we like to zag. So that's what's lovely about that piece of work.
The Haagen-Dazs campaign, which I think was 91, which launched the brand into the UK, as well as the inspiration of the blank sheet of paper. As I recall, there was a very, very tight deadline and didn't have much spend at it, but it created a sort of disproportionate noise in the business.
I remember actually, we'd gone through about 4 campaigns and the client was going, oh, I'm not sure. And one of the creative teams that we had working on it said, John, we've got to fire them. They're used to that. They'll never buy anything great. And we said, no, I think we should go one more time. We should just listen to, and it was a great piece of intelligence. And finally, it was Nick Kendall who said, look, there is something about this product that the way people talk about it, they talk about the sensuality of the product. And literally, on saying that, Nick opened the door and we talked, wow, nobody has talked about ice cream like this before. We're not going to talk about it as an ice cream with ingredients and all that. We're going to talk about it as a sensual pleasure. And in doing that, we immediately put this product onto its own playing field, a playing field which nobody else was on. And it's a great lesson in whatever you're doing, is create your own playing field. Our industry is remarkable. I can't think of any other industry in the world that thinks it can succeed by making a product worse. And our product has got worse. It's not an opinion, that's a fact. So no other industry, Audi would not say, you know, we can sell more cars if we actually make them slightly worse. You know, no restaurant would say, I'm going to make a slightly worse meal. No clothing manufacturer would say, I'm going to make a slightly worse jacket and I'll sell more. Our industry is actually making a worse product and believes it will be more successful. I'd like somebody to explain where that comes from.
Do you think clients understand, if you like, the sort of both the tyranny and the inspiration of the blank sheet of paper?
Well, I've always thought clients want it to be a science. They're passionate. If only this business that they're in could be scientific, they would love it, because they'd add it all up, they'd do the sums, and they go, look, that's it. I've done the research, I've done the strategy, I've checked everything as I've gone along, and it's almost as though they're producing a cure for cancer or something. You know, it's almost the way they approach it is almost like that. And of course, what we do, salesmanship is an art, and it always will be an art. And this goes against what they want it to be.
There was a time, again, you know, back in the day when advertising very much led the kind of marketing communications process, and you know, other disciplines sort of fell in behind it, PR and direct marketing and sales promotion and so on. Do we find ourselves in a different position now, where all the disciplines have more equality or are more equal in terms of delivering the ultimate result for the client? Yeah,
I think what's happened is that we see a kind of an elevation of this word collaboration. And it's a wonderful word, and it's absolutely marvellous, and aren't we all pleased that we're all collaborating? But it rapidly descends into consensus. And that's the problem with collaboration. And of course, we've always collaborated. I mean, you know, when you wrote a script, you then spoke to a director, who spoke to a set designer, who spoke to somebody else, and an editor, and music, and so you collaborated on making that. I think there's a view today that anybody can have a great idea. I mean, it's like crowdsourcing. I mean, yeah, wonderful, absolutely great. I mean, of course anybody can have an idea. And I always quote here, there's a wonderful quote by, I think it's Marcel Duchamp, who says, we're all artists, it's just some of us shouldn't exhibit. And, you know, great creative work is the sort of, the result of somebody's individual passion to drive something through. And that isn't about collaboration, that's about having a vision to do something really great, and then bringing people with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I mean, in this sort of the new world we find ourselves in, do you think ad agencies in particular have responded quickly enough to the changes in consumer behaviour?
But I think I go back to my point that, you know, what we're not doing today is coming up with the kind of ideas that are game-changing, that change the fortunes of brands. Our audience, the people we're talking to, their appreciation of what we do has consistently gone down since 1990, where it stood at about 36%, loved what we did, it's now less than 10%. So how we can justify that seems to me amazing. And our industry has really got to look at, what are we doing about that? Nobody's talking about it.
I think I've heard you reported as saying that you're going to carry on working for some time to come. But assuming there is a legacy,
yeah.
Sir John Hegarty legacy, what would you like it to be, apart from fine wine?
Yeah, the wine, actually, yeah, that's it. The work is the legacy. You know, I always say, actually, that we always talk about the work. And what's fortunate for BBH, in a way, is our business model only succeeds, our business model. You know, only 6 offices around the world, probably charge more than other agencies, give clients things that are difficult to buy, disagree with them all the time, give them a hard time. They must look at it and go, why on earth am I at BBH? What's the point, you know? The only point is the work is great. So our business model only succeeds if we go on doing great work. So the work is the legacy. If we don't go on doing great work, this whole thing collapses.
Do you think agencies in general are good at surviving the retirement of their founders? Do you think that's possible or probable? Or?
I think that's a fantastic question. John Bartle, fun enough, always said, our agencies like rock bands, they have a kind of period of time and then that's it. Of course, the thing with a rock band, they can always come back and play, as I've said before, their old songs. We can't do that. I'm not sure I absolutely agree with that. I think we can go beyond the original founders. I mean, the idea is to sort of institute some ownership structure, or the way we're owned, or the terms under which we're owned, that will encourage creativity.
Would you ever retire?
No, I loathe the word retirement. I mean, it assumes that that's it now, you've given up. You're in that waiting room. No, life is too interesting, you know. I mean, I'm kind of a great believer, it sounds rather corny actually, in that great line that we came up with for Johnny Walker, which is keep walking. You never stop.
Very good. And I know you started a fantastic wine business. I have no idea what the financials are, but the wine is fantastic.
The financials are disastrous.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, if I give somebody, I'm addressing the camera now, whatever you do, please do start your own brand because it's really, really interesting. But don't make it a vineyard. You'll lose a fortune.
Do you foresee another challenge, another blank sheet of paper for Sir John Hegarty in the future, or is the wine and the advertising agency enough?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, people always say to me, do you have a 5-year plan? And I go, no, I have a 5-minute plan. Because I don't know what's going to be around the corner. But certainly, I love, you know, it's partly how you engage with life. You know, you're doing stuff, you're influencing things, you're engaging with other people, ideas, thoughts, whatever it is. Yeah, it's too exciting not to.
On behalf of R.J. Wiggins and D&AD, Sir John, I'd like to thank you an awful lot for the interview. And best wishes for the future.
And
Cheers.
best of luck with D&AD.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks.